Here we go again with this. There ain't no way. Dallas still stinks.
Oh my God, Philly 500 is probably going to be in tears when he sees his boyfriend AJ Brown and how he's acting.
I do not shake, I do not cry. You might do it, King Dingbat here, and what is going on with this AJ Brown stuff? We are a week away from the draft, and we are dealing with this crap. Why on earth would the Eagles want to trade A.J. Brown? Why? You're going to take one of your best, most strength positions on your team and make it a giant weakness? All the guy does is go out and kill it. And yet, we're talking nonsense. Nonsense that I have to address because it pisses me off. All right? Now, before we get into it, I do want to talk a little bit about Isaiah Rodgers. I need a deep breath here. I swear, this is all Mark Holmes' fault. He goes on Dan Silio's show, and then now all this crap with A.J. Brown starts. It's a Cowboys curse. But we'll get into that in a second. Oh, I'm pissed off about it. Tom Pelissero, he said this today. The NFL is restating 5 players who were suspended indefinitely last year for violating the gambling policy. Former Lions wide receiver Quintez Cephas, C.J. Moore, Demetrius Taylor, Pound Commanders wide receiver Shaq Tony, and former Colts linebacker Rashad Berry. Now, my thoughts was that this was going to be at least a 1-year suspension, and the fact that Isaiah Rodgers was actually suspended in June, that it would take a little longer for him to get reinstated. But when I looked at all these guys and when they were suspended, most of them were suspended in April. But Demetrius Taylor, I believe, was suspended in June at the same time as Isaiah Rodgers. So why is Isaiah Rodgers, why is he not reinstated? I don't know. But I got to think it's probably because they hate the Eagles. I mean, the NFL hates the Eagles, and they're going to do everything they can to screw us, to slow us down, and all that. So that's probably what it is, because I don't know why else it would take so long. So who knows? We'll see. Here's something I do like. All right, this is something I really, really like today. And I like Daniel Jeremiah. Okay, I like him, and a lot of times he connects the Eagles in mock drafts to who I want. So I have been saying from the get-go, if I would like the Eagles to get Quinyon Mitchell. That would be the draft pick I would like in the first round. I have said that from the beginning. I continue to think it. And he thinks that you got to be careful because the Eagles still could go cornerback. He said, Daniel Jeremiah said this. He said, wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles trade up for Terrion Arnold or Quinyon Mitchell, Pound Eagles. I pray this happens. This is what I want. Now, I like Arnold as well. Arnold's probably my second favorite corner. But Quinyon Mitchell, yeah, I would love to get him. I would love to get him. I think you could start him right away, okay? And I would. So we'll see what happens. I look at Quinyon Mitchell, yeah, he's the corner I want. Cooper DeJean, and people say I just like saying, I kind of do. It's like French. Oh, Cooper DeJean, ça c'est bon. So he would be my Swiss Army knife defensive back. But Quinyon Mitchell, I'm hoping. So I hope Daniel Jeremiah is right. I always like who he connects us with. I just got to say. Now, let's get into this A.J. Brown stuff. I just came from Dan Silio's show, and he is like on cloud 9. He loves the chaos. He loves this. And this wasn't something that I had any plans to talk about. None. But I have a simple rule on my channel. If I get 3 separate DMs about the same subject, that subject becomes the immediate next video I do, okay? I had 5 people DM me in an hour about A.J. Brown in this situation, okay? And it just seems like it's getting worse and worse, all right? Now, for those that don't know, here's what happened today. A.J. Brown changed his profile, I guess, on Instagram, and he put up Tom Brady, right? And when he did that, everybody started saying, why is it Tom Brady, his profile, blah, 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 blah. Big Sills went hard at him. And then A.J. Brown, he responded, and this is what he said. He said, Tom Brady is my favorite player ever. I watched the Dynasty, and it brought back some memories from my childhood. Go look up what he did in 2015 when he was doubted, disrespected. Yeah, I see the disrespect motivated. Yes, that's it. I did not think changing my profile to the greatest quarterback ever would cause controversy. Take care. It should be done right there. This whole thing should be done. We shouldn't be talking about this at all after this. All right? But that's not the way it goes on the internet. That's not the way it goes when Big Sills gets a piece of it. It's going to be blown up into some huge thing, and then we get this report, right? And let me say this. We already know that New England is looking for a wide receiver. There has been no doubt. There's been talks that they could be connected to guys like Brandon Ayuk. So they are in search for receivers. And then ML Football put this report out. Pound Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown just followed Pound Patriots quarterback Jacoby Brissett and wide receiver KJ Osborne on Instagram per at Sports Fellow. Brown also changed all his profile pictures to Tom Brady, and the New England de facto GM Elliott Wolf said today the team is in trade talks for a wide receiver. And then here you could see that he is now following them, and then this thing is just snowballing and snowballing and snowballing and pause, no diddy, into something that now the Eagles are going to trade A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots. And this is what Sills is pushing. This is what people who hate A.J. Brown are pushing. And I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the whole world. I do. I think it's the most ridiculous. I'm not saying that Howie Roseman isn't capable of something like that. Like if A.J. Brown was a big problem in the locker room, much like Hassan Reddick, yeah, something could happen. But I never got that sense from the Eagles, from A.J. Brown, from anything that we heard. Everything that A.J. Brown did last year was, I really think, wrongfully put on him. I think because he plays the position of a wide receiver, because of the things that have happened with Terrell Owens in the past, that A.J. Brown gets a bad rap. I think this is just a guy that wants to win, and he's intense. And when you get a receiver who's intense, who wants to go out and win, then all of a sudden he's a diva. He gets mad about something, he gets unhappy about something, then oh my gosh, A.J. Brown, he's got to leave Philly. He's a diva. This is crazy talk. This is crazy talk. The Eagles, if the Eagles were to trade A.J. Brown, you would then create a giant, a gargantuan hole at the wide receiver position. You have Devontae Smith, stud. But who do you have? You trade A.J. Brown, who do you got? Who do you got? Devontae Parker? Paris Campbell? Those are your guys that are going to take the place of A.J. Brown? No. You would then have to draft a wide receiver in round one, and then what? Then all of a sudden you have a rookie in here who's trying to learn, and maybe the rookie's going to be good, but now you're talking 2-3 years down the road. Not to mention, do we not know Howie Roseman's record at drafting wide receivers? It's hideous. It's hideous. He got Devontae Smith right because Devontae Smith was a top 10 talent, okay? And he would have to, the only way it would work, and I wouldn't do this. I'm not saying I would do this. But the only way that it would work was Howie Roseman would have to get into the top 10 and take one of the top 2 receivers in this draft. Okay? So you would have to essentially trade A.J. Brown and somehow come away with the 3rd overall pick and take Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the only way I think it would make any sense to do it. Otherwise, it's a waste. But why on earth would the New England Patriots trade you the number 3 overall pick? What are you going to give up? A.J. Brown in the 22nd for the 3rd overall? I mean, I think New England sitting at 3 is taking a quarterback. They're going to take a quarterback. So it's not going to happen. This is stupid. This is stupid. But I have to address it because I am getting overrun with comments about this, asking my opinion. And I'm not a very good typer with these big fat fingers. All right? So it's better for me just to come here and do a video. But I think this is insanity. You know, why? To me, you have the most dynamic duo at wide receiver in the National Football League. It is very odd to have not only 2 really good wide receivers, 2 number ones, but to get 2 guys who aren't the same type of wide receiver. Do you know how well they complement each other? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. A.J. Brown, big, physical, yards after the catch. Devontae Smith, fast, great route runner, amazing hands. You got to keep these guys. You got to play it out. You still need to get another wide receiver while keeping him. You would create such a giant hole on your offense. It would be ridiculous. And then to me, I would have to say, well, what's the point in Saquon Barkley? Because now you have a giant hole in offense. Your offense ain't going to be to the level it is now, and you have to rebuild your defense. So you're taking 2 steps back. You know, I mean, what are you going to do? Trade for Brandon Ayuk? You would need to trade for Brandon Ayuk probably. And the 49ers aren't trading him. It's stupid. Why create a problem that isn't there? That is all I'm saying. You have A.J. Brown. I love A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, if you're out there and you hear this, I love you. Most of us Eagle fans, we love you. Don't listen to these crazy people. Cilio, he's on some Mark Holmes voodoo doll stuff. Sacrifice of chickens. Because this is insane. No, A.J. Brown isn't going anywhere. He is not going anywhere. Read my lips. He's staying. And we're going to build this team, and we're going to build this defense up, and we're going to go in there, and we're going to double moonwalk people's asses this year. That's all I got to say about it. It's too frustrating. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie vision, not Cilio vision. And we're all just living in it. I'll say it right now. I believe that there's an 85% chance the Eagles are going to trade up in this draft. No doubt about it. And I do. I do think cornerback is in play. And I absolutely love it. Denzel Washington out.